Morning guys, just want to talk to you today a little bit about composting and recycling. It's a lot of things that we consider garbage or trash, whether it's in our household or around our yard, but most of them can actually be recycled and turned into good compost for our garden spaces. So like our food scraps, they're a good source of nitrogen. Our dry leaves around the yard, they're a good source of carbon. When you combine the two, they create a good compost that you can reuse in your garden space. I'll show you a very user-friendly method that I've been using for the past few years of how I compost. So here's my composting pile. I've had this breaking down now for about 5 days. So this is basically just kitchen scraps, leaves from around the yard, and as you can see, it's already turning into a good compost pile. It's starting to break down very efficient from the heat that it creates from the nitrogen. What I do, I store it in a 4 to 4 gallon garbage bin. I just put a few holes around the bin to create a good airflow as the compost pile gets very hot. So these holes will allow some of the excess heat and some of the excess moisture to dissipate. I'll fill this bin until it's full, and then I'll reuse it in the yard and start the whole process over again. So some of the other products you can actually add to your compost as well is like your shells. So the shells provide a good source of calcium. So whether it's your egg shells, it's your lobster shells, crab shells, the casings from the shrimp, all of those have a good source of calcium. I don't add them to my compost pile as I use them directly in my garden. So I keep them separate. I grind them up and then I either water my plants with them or I just use them as a top dressing for a good source of calcium. They have a few other elements on the periodic table, but that one in specific is what I use them for. One item I don't add to the compost is citrus products. So such as your orange, your lime, your lemon, I found that the citric acid throws off the pH balance in the composting. So I've only based that on my experience from my previous composting piles. So I don't add any citrus products to it. As another medium to replace dry leaves, if you don't have as much dry leaves, is cardboard boxes. So they're essentially wood, and if you have them laying around, you can shred them up and add them into your compost, and they'll provide a good source of carbon as well. So a lot of these things we would throw away that end up in the landfill, but we can actually reuse them as a good source for our composting in our garden. For if you don't have anywhere to get rid of your dry leaves, or as opposed to actually dumping them, you can reach out to the Backyard Farmer GCM. I saw a post previously where they were interested in collecting them from people, so reach out to them via Instagram or Facebook, and I'm pretty sure you can arrange a setup where they can collect them from you. And also for anyone who has been buying the juices from me, if you want, I can collect the bottles back. I won't be using them to rebottle juice. I'll be using them in my yard space, adding soil to them, and then reusing them as plant pots basically. So just to get rid of the landfill issue that we have here in Cayman, I can reuse them that way. If you find the benefit of using them for that purpose, feel free, and any information you want on it, feel free to reach out to me, as well as any information you want on composting, the process, or a little bit more information on it. Feel free to send me a message or give me a call. I'll be happy to give you any information I have.